Good morning, and I hope you've been well, and this is part 172 of the Pokemon Rejuvenation V13.5 Let's Play, set mode, no items, so yeah. So before we get into today's episode and explore this bizarre world here, I do want to get into a small recap on the last episode because a lot was unpacked there, so yeah, and of course I do want to give some praise to Jane and the developers that worked very hard on this amazing game here, so I guess I'll do that now real quick. And also, I guess it might help some new players that might still be confused by the story, because again, as I've said multiple times, there is a lot to process with this game. There's a lot of loops and layers, however you want to word it, so yeah. So last episode, we went to the obelisk, we entered inside into what we call Zeit here, and we got into a confrontation with Crescent. We went into battle, we won, and Crescent opens up a little bit explaining that, don't you understand the pain that I've had to gone through? I wanted to bring you back, but when I brought you back, you weren't the Alain that I once knew. I didn't want to overstep or anything like that, and I just kept my distance. Gothitelle for some reason didn't like you. I never understood why, but now I know why. Because you're not Alain. You're not the real Alain, the one that I grew up with for many years, the one that I cared for, the one that I loved, and yada yada yada. And thankfully, within Zeit, all of the other pro tags, all of her friends, once upon a time before Storm 9 went down, appeared before her, reassured her that it's okay to move forward, make new friends, we're always going to be with you. She has that emotional scene, she has some issues opening up a little bit, rightfully so because of past events with her, but she's willing to make change and allow new people within her heart. And afterwards we went into the main area where we started at, talked to Adrest, got a lot of lore and a lot of information about Old Earth. I won't re-say all of that here, because last episode I kind of broke it down with most of the panels there that we saw that felt needed to be broken down. You get the point. So yeah, I won't re-say all Storm 9, wrong word, or wrong events, sorry. Old Earth's events here. But yeah, we learned about Old Earth, Variety, the Griffins, the other nations, yada yada yada. And unfortunately, we get to the end, and Crescent says, well, Adrest, you mentioned you don't know why the Interceptor's a thing. Let's just talk to Variety about it, you know, she came before me, same thing with Alain, so what's the big deal? Let's call her, let's get her on in here. And of course, Adrest is like, hello, she's meant to be dead? You guys are crazy, and Crescent's like, no, I'm not crazy. We talked to her, we all saw her. We wouldn't have became an Interceptor without her making that deal with us. And then Adrest kind of has this bro moment being like, wait, no. She promised me, crap, no. She lied. It goes to black. And now we appear here. Excuse me there. It's truly remarkable, now getting into the praise that Jane and the developers deserve. It is incredible. The layers, the storytelling, the lore, the mystery, the everything about this game, if I could speak correctly. It's just phenomenal. Like the character development, the sprites, the battles, there's so much praise I can give this game, you know? And I know I'm talking in circles and messing up my words here, but like, it truly is a one-of-a-kind game. And I cannot think of a fan-made game of Pokemon that goes above and beyond what Jane has done to this game. It is remarkable. And again, just thank you to all of them for what they have done with this story. It truly is a one-of-a-kind, and again, I just love this game, man. There's just so much to it. There's just so many amazing things. with that being said and done, let's just get a move on. Okay, so we are in this world after Adrest, however you pronounce it, found out that Varaya is in fact not dead, and she is somewhere within this world. And it's interesting now kind of seeing the eyes kind of follow you around. I think when you mess with the butterflies, they make a little giggle kind of sound. I think we talked to these two before, how they can't really be understood. I see the word like seer, I think that's what that says, but I'm not really sure how you can translate that, so yeah. Now it is kind of interesting by the eyeballs, you can kind of see the slight, you know, cracks there, and how the characters here, Crescent and... why am I forgetting her name? I know we called her Mom, but... does she even have a name besides Mom? Am I going crazy? I think she's just called Mom. I don't remember if she actually had a name or not, but... anyways, our Mother and Crescent there aren't really normal. They're white, and... I can't tell, because like there's this black and pink kind of thing there. I can't tell if she has something similar there as well. It kind of looks like it. I'm not super certain, but anyways, let's just keep moving. I will most likely get into a long rant about, you know, my thoughts, feelings, and theories and yada yada about all of this really soon, but for now, let's march forward. Now, I think I've tried this before, looking through all of this. It doesn't seem to be an area where like you can like see any like secrets and whatnot. There might be something here that I've completely missed, very possible, somebody can let me know, but for the most part I don't think there's anything like wacky you can do within this space here. You can kind of clip through stuff, but not that you can actually, you know, leave this area. Okay. Let me save here. And then I'll talk to Adrest here. Now, another thing that's interesting, I don't think it is a coincidence that the red and black things here, it really does resemble Yveltal, like the tail and the two like wings or claws going at him there. So yeah, just something to point out as well. Anyways, I will read this, and most likely I will go into a theory rant, spoiler rant, whatever you want to call it, so yeah. This is wrong. Varaya should have been... and of course the ... is him just like processing him being lied to. At least that's what I'm going to safely assume. Someone has found me. Now, that could be Varaya, that could be the system, the core, whatever you want to call it. It could be a numerous amount of things, so I think it's kind of up in the air, but I would safely assume it has something to do with the core, possibly Varaya, or maybe something else within this elaborate, you know, space here. Anyways, I'll reread that again. Alain, blank has found me. It doesn't want me to. I am being deleted, but I won't let this go their way. I will help you. Now that's interesting. Let it go their way. Meaning plural if I'm not mistaken. So again, last episode, there were multiple volunteers, 17 total. Now, I think somebody told me before that it's actually meant to be 18, not 17. It's just an error on Jane's part. I don't know if that's true or not. I think it is by one of the live streams that Jane did with Zumi a long while back. But regardless, 17 or 18. It could also be a thing that it's the other volunteers that know more than Adrest here that are like, hey, you gotta go. I don't want these people having that info. This is by Varia's will. You're gone, dude. Get on out of here. I think that, voice crack there, I think that's a possibility on what's going on. Now, what I'm saying there, just to re-say it, isn't really spoilers. I'm going off of what we learned on the last episode, what has been said, because he did mention that the relationship with him and Varia was a very complicated relationship, that he didn't get to hear everything like she's talked to with the other volunteers, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I still think there's even things that she hid from the others, but it seemed that the other volunteers knew way more than Adris does here, so yeah. Anyways, I will help you one final time. I've unlocked and hidden something within Zeit, a place where they can't find it. Everything you need to know the truth about are with you now. Now, I don't know if there's any significance with this being, you know, 5 here or not. I mean, it could be Varia, it could be about, you know, the world that we're in right now, or Zeit. I don't know, like there's a numerous amount of things that run in my mind, but I'm not sure if this is just meant to fill in a word or if it's actually a word with, you know, 5 letters, so that I can't really know for certain. Anyways, I'll reread that. Everything you need to know the truth about are with you now. However, someone's data is encrypted. So again, I'm going to safely assume maybe Varia? I kind of want to think it's something else though, because originally he didn't think Varia was alive, but maybe like last minute him doing his thing with anxiety, he's like, oh, I found it. She actually is alive. Crap, okay. Info to you now before I get up and delete it here. Again, could be Varia's data, it could be something else entirely, or maybe like the world's data is encrypted. Again, I don't really know. However, data is encrypted. The keys are with your friends. Discover the truth and fulfill my request. Oh, right. Well, I guess it would be like the world's thing, because like it lies within the friends. Not like Varia per se, but just with how the world operates. I think that actually is what that is. I think. It's been a minute since I did V13.5 and played through it. I think that's what it's going towards, but I'll leave it at that for now. Well, see, that's another thing. Like, I don't want to say too much per se, because like I don't want to get outright into spoilers, so I think I do remember all of that, but let me just stop there before I delve into potential spoiler territory. And now thinking about it, I might have actually said some spoilers. I apologize about that. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't really remember what I said a few seconds ago, but let me just stop there. Discover the truth and fulfill my request. Make this world your own. And then unfortunately, he's gone. Now, I do want to go on a pretty lengthy rant here. If you don't want to listen, that's fine. Go to the comment section below. I would safely bet there will be spoilers in this rant. I feel that a lot of it is stuff that we already know within the game, but if I say something that I think is spoilers, then I will warn before I say it. So yeah, again, spoiler territory, comment section below. If you don't want to listen, skip on ahead. Yeah. Okay, we are in spoiler territory and theory rant territory. Again, I think a lot of what I'm about to say isn't super spoiler stuff. I think most of it is stuff that we already know within the game, but I will give a heads up if I think I'm about to say something that is spoiler related to the game and has not been seen or said yet. Okay, so I am puzzled with how this game is going to play out. It is something that I believe a lot of players are somewhat confused about and have tried all sorts of theories and ideas for many, many years. One of the many things throughout the years that I played Rejuvenation is when I heard the name Varia. It has always stuck with me for a while, and I believe Varia always had something more than what's being said within the game, and it's cool how V13 and V13.5 really brings it to light more and more about Varia. Now, the question gets into, what is even her goal? What is the point of the whole reset system? What is the point of her creating this world here? What's the goal for her? And I kind of want to get into that now. So ad rest at the point where he was getting deleted, I want to go into 3 ideas that I have with Varia and our goals. I could be right, I could be wrong. There are, I almost want to say, an infinite amount of ideas that could be on her mind. But let me just try to break it down into 3 ideas. 1, plain and simply, Varia wants to create a world to, I don't know if I want to say like fit her imagination, or to create a world that can actually live on without needing the reset system, or yada yada yada. I don't know what it could be, but I think to some level she wants to find a world that no longer needs that, because, well, this now gets into heavy spoiler territory here, so fair warning here. Going back to the end of V13.5, when they find the truth about everything being predetermined by Varia's, you know, whatchamacallit, thing with like creating like rejuvenation and all this kind of stuff, and her not saying everything to Adris and probably quite a few other individuals when she started this project. They learn everything is predetermined. Their actions have always been predetermined from the start. But after that, we learn a thing about blooming or wilting. Now, of course, on the Paragon route, I assume we're heading towards blooming, and that depends on the choices we make, karma points, friendship points, all that kind of stuff, I believe adds into that. Now, I know I'm wording my words weird, but I really want to think carefully when I say these kind of things, and not just spit out random stuff as I normally do, which I know I'm going to do anyways. But getting into that though, you know what? Step back a moment. Varia goals rejuvenation. Number 1, I think that it's a mix of a few things. She's in full control. She created rejuvenation. She helped with creating the reset system and pretty much this whole core thing, digging to the bottom, or sorry, the center of the earth, and all this kind of stuff for a few different reasons. 1, I think a reason could be she just wanted to have fun and be like, you know what, I destroyed this one world. I've realized how fragile life can be because of the other nation's mistakes, and I guess mine as well. And here we are now. I made this machine. Oh man, other nation, the final one is after me. Let's start it. Let's boot it up now. Okay, good. I'm safe and sound. One of my volunteers died, but Adarest was a decent substitute last minute. Now I get to have fun. I get to make all these worlds. Because again, go back into, and again, another heavy spoiler here, with the character V, where they said I was an interceptor from yada 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 year or time, whatever it was. that implies that there are multiple worlds and multiple games created by Varia. Now, why is that? One, again, it could be just a simple thing as, I want to have fun. Life is too short. I'm just gonna have fun with this. I can create any scenario, I want, any situation, any whatever storyline. I can make Alain, you know, I don't know, a banana walking around, and he's got to defeat, I don't know, an alligator named Jim. I'll create this world where, again, let's go to the Doom timeline for an example, where there's this princess named Melanie, and now these people from this time got to go in and hopefully make the right choices to get back to their world, etc, etc. I can make an endless amount of scenarios, an endless amount of games, and it's fun because I'm in a predicament and in a situation that I cannot be touched. I'm safe for the most part. I still think there is a way that you can stop her, but for the time being, let's just keep it simple and say it's most likely not going to happen anytime soon. Another thing, going off of my first point and idea, is plain and simply, what if she's doing a thing that she's like, I'm going to create all these worlds, I'm going to have my fun, and until I find the right world, that's when my actions go into plan. One, heavy spoilers here. I go back to the elevator scene where Melia and Alain from a Doom timeline have that, like, they're going up the elevator, they go into the portal thing because Melia was like kicking and screaming at this eyeball tablet thing, being like, you know, karma's a blank. I'm not gonna say that curse word, of course, but you're gonna get what you deserve, and yada yada, just getting mad, kicking, punching it. And the eyeball on the tablet, I'm gonna guess that's Varia. It also could be the system, but I'll get into that in a moment, but let's just say Varia for the time being. And she's like, oh, karma, how interesting. I didn't plan for this, but who cares? I can do whatever I want. Yeah, karma's a great idea. You've inspired me. So yeah, go up that elevator, go through that portal, and you do your thing, okay? Okay, good luck out there. And if it don't work, then at least I tried it. And if, you know, it works, cool. And if it doesn't, cool. So that all goes down, right? We get to this here. Now, because like, I feel like that portal thing has something to do with this world potentially, but regardless, what if it's a situation where she threw, you know, mud at a wall, seeing if it sticks, that possibly jumpstarts this world here, with karma now being a thing within it. Because again, go back to blooming and wilting at the end of V13.5. She's like, okay, if you can successfully make this happen, with karma being a thing, you get all the karma, good karma by the way, not bad, but good karma, good friendship, you do the quest, you help people, you save the world, yada yada, you unlock the shackles and create a world that is habitable and sustainable, and not in just utter chaos and into ruin, and in a way that I like it. Then other volunteers and other staff, Griffins, and other people from old Earth that might be still alive in here, we're gonna take over that world. Because we no longer need to live in this digital world here, is what I'm gonna call it. I think that's a possibility. I know it's a really wacky idea, but I really feel that it's possible that it's not just a fun thing that she just makes worlds and does her own thing, but it could be a more darker thing that she's looking for the right world. Now you might be wondering how, why? Go back to the third layer. There's holograms of Garufins still acting as if they're still doing their thing. What if it's a thing that she's like, all right, I found the perfect world. This one got all the karma, all the good, yada yada, I like it. It's my world now. You guys, my characters that I made within this game, boop, gone, get out of here. erased, recycled, whatever, you're gone. In the trash bin. Don't want you anymore. Now, when I go into the whole trash bin thing, look back at the earlier scene where Zai looked a lot different and where Crescent and our mom didn't really look like Crescent and our mom, almost like skeletons in a sense. I don't know how to really like word how they look, but think of it as a thing with this world being predetermined. They're not, I mean, like, it's not that they aren't actual people, but at the same time, they kind of aren't at the same time, because it's her game, it's her story. This is all started by the core, by all of this. Like, it's really where, like, they are real people, but at the same time, they kind of aren't, because they've been created and formed in a way that Varia wanted them to be made and formed. At least I think that's how it is. Because, like, there's the whole thing with, like, the whole, like, recycle thing that I go back to as well. That she's like, okay, this world failed, whatever, recycle, redo it again, and here we are now, so... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's just something that's really interesting. Now, going into my second point. Varia is still alive. But Varia isn't Varia. And this is something I've gotten a few comments on, and something I have thought about before as well. That Varia is not actually Varia. It's the system puppeteering her, pretty much being like, you know, Varia, you did some really good chess moves with Old Earth. I want your mind. I want your body, your everything, and I'm gonna impersonate you, and the system pretty much took over all of it. And again, Garufans, the people of Old Earth, didn't learn their lesson. They defeated and killed Arceus. They tried, you know, playing God, and the system just got too smart. The AI, the supercomputer, the RC statue thing, whatever you want to call it, the core, whatever, kind of was like, yeah, we're now in control now, and we're just gonna use this leverage, and we're just gonna do our own thing because I'm the system, man. What are you gonna do about it? Like, ain't nothing you could do. So, yeah, it could be a simple thing that, you know, Varia isn't Varia, and it's most likely a thing where the system is doing all of that. Do I think that's what that is? I'm gonna lean towards no, then yes, but it would not surprise me if the game goes in that direction. I feel like the first one is the most likely, but I can see that being a possibility, so yeah. And I don't know, because like I don't know. I don't know, honestly. It's something that it's just really interesting, you know, really interesting to think about. Now the third, I think this is the least likely out of the three, but it's still a contender in my mind. What if, you know, one of the volunteers, Indrid, was like, hey, I'm gonna cause some shenanigans up in here. Sorry. And what if he's the one? Like, Varia's still a thing, right? But it's not necessarily the system itself, but Indrid himself that's orchestrating all of this, because Indrid is still out there. I can't ignore the scene with Adras being like crunched down by the wings and tail of Yveltal. So there's a part of me that feels it could have something to do with Vitus, Indrid, whatever you want to call him. Go back to Nemra. Life and death are meant to be something that, you know, balances one another. Indrid won, got rid of her. And he's trying to do the same thing with, you know, other people. He's watching, stalking, waiting, hiding, doing his experiments, doing his own thing. Again, with the thing with Angie, with Gira, he's trying to scheme something. So, yeah. I think I'll leave it at that, because there's not a ton I can get into with the whole Indrid idea besides plain and simply Vitus being, you know, Vitus. So yeah. Now I guess a fourth thing I could say is I don't really know. And that goes back to what I said earlier within this rant. It could be an infinite amount of things that could be what's going on with this. With Varya's goals, with the system's goal, or maybe with Indrid's goal. Maybe a mix of all three. I don't know. I don't know. Voice crack there. But yeah, there's just a lot to unpack. There's more that I could probably say and get into, but let's keep it at that for now because I went on a very, very lengthy rant, so we'll stop there. Alright, we are out of my rant spoiler thing, so I'm writing this down. And let's get it going with this. What just happened? Where's Adrest? It seems he vanished. Alain? I see. So basically he tried to speak and someone wasn't happy about that, or something. This is troubling. Adrest truly is gone now. At least he gave Alain what they wanted before that happened. It would have been a serious pain if Alain went through all they did for nothing. Yes. For now, you two should return. I'll try to dig through things and look for these keys Adrest mentioned. Fair enough. Keep us posted. Alain, did you do it? Did you successfully awaken him? Nice. This is amazing. I can't believe it. With this power, Alain should be unstoppable. Team Zen has a lot coming for them. Now that this is settled, we should go back home and talk about what to do next. Now that we have that power, Alain and I can use it together to make a miracle. Make a miracle. Make a... what? Make a miracle. Make a miracle. Make a miracle. Make a miracle. Hey Melia, are you okay? Certified bro moment. And of course, if you couldn't really tell, this is very similar to what, I'm dumb, I remembered her name. Nancy, Nancy, I believe her name is Nancy. Nancy and Crescent were saying within that one space within Zeit. What is going on here? And of course, we're doing the same thing now. Now, some players might be curious on why this is happening to us. I don't want to go on a long rant, but let me just keep it simple. At least learning about Varya, go back to Arceus and what Adrest said, an imitation of God, with the archetype being within Melia and the Genesis Syndrome, and Alain now awakening that power, and of course with us two being very significant and very important to the story. I think it is intended that this happened to us and not really the other two, being Aaron and Alita. There could be more that I can say, but I'll keep it very plain and simple. If it's not anything like that, then I have no clue, but I'm going to assume it has something to do with what I just said there. Maybe not exactly, but something along those lines. Alain? Well, I guess we had a bro moment speaking in tongue there. Hey, we're back in this area. I remember when I did the normal mode, my first series of Rejuvenation, that I think I brought it up before, that I had an idea of what was going to happen, but when I went into V13.5, it went in the exact opposite way that I thought it would have. And I just, again, love how creative Jane and his team members are. I could have never guessed this kind of situation or scenario, but it's easily one of the coolest parts within Rejuvenation in my opinion. Anyways, Where am I? Of course you're up so fast. Why wouldn't you be? Ah, who are you? I bet you think you're funny. Funny? I'm so confused. If you pull that garbage again, I'm seriously gonna fight back, Melia. You know my name? Wait a minute. You're Alain. Dude, really? Stop playing the amnesiac card. I think I pronounced that word wrong, sorry, but I'll just say amnesia card. So contrived. Alain isn't here anymore. My name is Alain, remember? Now, you might be confused. I believe it's because... does that really get into spoiler stuff, though, if I say that? No, not really. I'll explain it to players if they're confused by that. If my name was Billy Bob Joe, for an example, then I think Melia would say Billy Bob Joe and not Alain, because I named myself Alain after the pro tag along. I know it gets confusing, but that's just what I wanted to name my character and have for many years, so yeah. Anyways, Alain. And with that saying like Alain, like the actual pro tag along, not me Alain, so E. What the hell? What was all of that? That voice and that eye. The path changed again. Now, it is interesting how the name changed to Axel. I think that has something to do with potentially like all the other souls still residing within maybe the actual Alain here. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not really certain on that, but I thought I would at least point that out there. Gosh darn it, I can't just leave her here. But if she wakes up, she might try to... I'm sorry, I still don't understand. You found me passed out on the floor. No, that's not what happened. You passed out. We've been traveling together for quite some time before then. 6 years according to you. Now, I'm back. Sorry for the pause there. Well, let me read this first and then I'll go into a small rant, because I know this area for new players might get very confusing, so one moment. I have no idea what you're talking about. The last thing I remembered was I was in the desert. I was waiting for Alain to return, then it's all a blur. I'm sorry, but I need some time alone. Whatever. I'm moving on to the next room. Okay, so I guess I'll do another rant here. I guess technically it is spoilers, more so giving info about the Renegade route. I'm gonna safely assume most people know about that because this game has been out for about a year now, since V13.5, but yeah, just in case if there's new people, I will do a spoiler right now, so yeah. Okay, we are in spoiler territory one final time. If you want to not listen to this, go to the comment section below, timestamp there. Yeah, okay. So, Melia here, the desert, had a bro moment. Now she's in this world here now. This doomed timeline is what I'm going to call it to keep it simple. She's somewhat familiar with this because, again, the Doom timeline, Madame X Melanie, it's slightly different, but it's not something that she isn't used to. So she's thrown into another world that, again, didn't really have any control over, and she is confused by the Alain here, because at first she's like, oh, you're Alain, I recognize you, and Alain's like, no. What are you talking about? So Melia's like, no, I think I worded that backwards. I think like Alain was like confused about it, but then Melia explained her thing, and then there's that back and forth with, you know, Alain actually not being the Alain that she knew, but this Alain we're playing as now, let's say, is the pro tag from this world here. So anyways, going to the whole Melia thing with her outside, where Alain was like, you don't remember what you did, and if you try pulling that stun again, go back to the renegade route, where there came a point where Melia, the Melia from this time, because assume that the two personalities, the two bodies, whatever, like swapped. So within this world, it's the kind, cool Melia. In the other world, if you plan a renegade route, it's M2, the interesting Melia is what I'll call her. So yeah, now anyways, with the whole stunt thing, let's just say M2 Melia, to keep it simple, from this world, went after Alain, tried killing him to just do something different. She just went insane, and yada yada yada. Now, of course, something happened with Zeit. Something weird happened with the core, whatever you want to call or word it. They swapped for the time being. So the kind, sweet Melia is here. The other one is somewhere else. And yeah, just to kind of explain that for new players that might get confused about that kind of stuff. I know it probably could be wording this better, but I don't want to get super into it, so even if you're still confused, it's fine. Hopefully at some point it'll kind of like open up, so but we'll stop there. Okay, we are out of spoiler territory, and we'll leave her alone, and let's get it going. She really doesn't seem to remember, but why? Sorry, but is she lying to me? If I let my guard down again, I should continue my recon work. Sounds like a plan. Now, I'm almost certain you can't leave, right? The door might close up again if I leave, and then we'll be separated. I think I read that wrong, sorry. Separated forever. Sounds like a terrible idea if you ask me. Okay. Let's see. An elevator. Good. Will using this be safe though? Of course it doesn't work. Right, and she's now over there. Dead end again. This is annoying. I don't even recognize this place. It's the central building, Grand Dream City. I don't know a building like that. Well, where I'm from, that's what this place was called. It's not exactly the same, but it has some of the same attributes. Huh, I guess you aren't lying. I don't even know myself anymore. You've been roaming this world for 6 years now. What can we do about this place? If I knew, we wouldn't be here. The other you and I roamed this world for 6 years with nothing to show for it. We walked until we get tired, get excited when the world changes, just to be let down when it leads nowhere. That's just been life here. It's a bad life, correct. Why do you push forward even though it leads to disappointment every time? This life isn't for me. I need to get back to my friends. And then we're going to fight Madame X again and kick her butt. That includes Alain, if I ever get the chance. Now, when he says Alain, he wants to get back at the one Alain that had control originally over his, body and whatnot. Because again, remember the Varia thing where she had the power, the real Alain stayed dormant within us, our character playing as them. So just to clarify that a little bit, if some are confused about that. Why did we end up here? I don't know why you're here, but the other Melia and I are here because we failed. Because Alain... All this place is, it's just a broken world. Maybe we could do something to fix it. Yeah? If I'm here, I'm willing to bet that the other me is somewhere else. which means she escaped this world somehow. If she can escape, we can too, I guess. Does that mean something has changed? Yeah, then let's go. Now I don't think... Right. Let me save here again. Now I don't think you can walk out. I think you gotta go that way. Okay. I guess just to double check. Okay. A new floor. Good. It moved. Thank goodness it moved. A new floor. Now, again, now the name said arrow. Just to point that out there. There's nothing here. But it's something, right? The world explains... Sorry. The world expands and expands. Surely there must be an end at some point. That's what you said when we first got here so long ago. Yet here we are, still 6 years later. Did I really say that? Long ago, yeah. Darn. But we can't just give up now. Everyone is counting on me to help. You just dropped something. Huh? A book? It appears to be your journal. Mine? I had no idea this even existed. I guess the other you hid it from me. In that case, it's no business of mine to read. No, please read it with me. Please. Are you sure? Yes, please. What should we read then? Now, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of these have some really interesting stuff. I'm just gonna read through it very simply, and then I'm gonna probably do like a rant kind of thing. I'll do like a spoiler timestamp thing in the comment section below when I actually do that. So let me read them all first, and then I'll kind of dissect and analyze a lot of these. So yeah. I found this book while rummaging around some debris underneath Giron City. I was able to find writing utensils at the old broken down store a few days back, so I'm going to use this to know time. Because honestly, with no way to discern time in any way, it's garbage. I have no idea to tell the time right now. So at the time of this entry, I will declare it 12 a.m., a new day. Dear Diary, we all failed the mission. We fought against Team Zen and lost. But when took from me, something unexpected happened. Alain did something. I don't know what, but it wiped half of us out. I survived, and then there was a flash of bright light. The world shook and the castle fell on top of us. I thought I died in the collapse, but I woke up to this place. The castle was gone. No, everything was gone, except for one thing. One person, Alain. Out of everyone, why them? I can't stand looking at their face, because it shares the same one with Alain. The person I hate the most, Alain. Stuck in this place with Alain. Is this the price of my sins? Entry 21. Entry 21. Even as I note down the time, I feel myself to be unreliable. I can't tell the time unless I dot down every single second that goes by. Clearly, I have the time to complete a task, but not the motivation. It could have been 24 hours since entry 1. It could have been 24 months. I can't tell anymore. All I know is that it's cold and this place never ends. Alain believes that if we keep going, we'll find a way out eventually. But everything we've come across suggests otherwise. All I do now is ponder about how I could have lived my life differently. I always was the shy girl who didn't go to parties and only battled when prompted. I had to change a bit when Spacia and Tempa saved me. I became more stern and tried to be a leader, but that failed miserably. If I was a normal girl again, I'd go out to parties and do things I wasn't supposed to just to get a feel of life again. If I had a second chance, I'd live my life the opposite of what I lived. Or actually, maybe I don't want to do any of those things. We always want what we can't have. Would I even enjoy those things if given the chance? Is any of this even worth thinking about? I don't know anymore. Entry 304. Entry 304. I think it's been over a year at this point, maybe more. I won't rant about time anymore, or rant about time again. Alain and I walked down this endlessly long tunnel today. I think it was some railnet system, but it didn't look anything from Avium. Eventually we got to a place called the Onyx Ward. There was what appeared to be a school there, but it was completely run down. When we walked outside, the scenario completely changed. We were at I cannot read today. We were at what appeared to be the Oceana Pier, but the water had completely run dry and the ships were grounded. Sometimes we find something interesting, I guess, but most of the time it's just waiting for the world to change again. Those parts are where I feel the most pain. Entry 406. Entry 406. After all this time, I just realized that the pages in this book don't end. I can flip all the pages at once and get to the back of the book easily. But when I start to turn each individual page over, it won't end. I've counted, there were over 1,000 pages. At some point, I couldn't keep counting. I just accepted it for what it is. Come to think of it, the ink in this pen I found has been working for an extremely long time too. What if time isn't passing at all? What if we've been at a standstill? Everything stops. Are we stuck in the 11th hour forever? Is that why nothing will fade? I tried ending things for myself tonight. It didn't work. It can't work. At least if I do it to myself. Alain, on the other hand, I wonder if they could pull it off if they if they tried. They never tried though. Maybe they would if I provoke them. If I put them in a situation where it's me or them, would they have the gall to do it? I want to try it. Maybe I can end both of our suffering somehow. And if it doesn't work, will we just be in even more pain? I want to see the color red again. It was so pretty and different. Maybe it's ugly and different. I want to see it again. I want to see Alain again. Entry 2211. Alain went out on their own again. I've given up. All I do is sit and think about things. I wait for them to come back and tell me they found nothing every time. Last night we found the remnants of what appeared to be a train station from Grand Dream City. Though I don't remember Grand Dream City even having a rail system, this world is so similar yet so different, it's so confusing. When Alain comes back, I might kill them. Just for fun. I mean, I'm pretty sure we can't die here, but I've kind of wanted to try it. Right now we're both nothing. I could be something. A murderer, I guess. But does murder even exist here? I could beat them to a pulp and laugh about it and move on. Then I'd be down here alone. But what's so bad about that? Maybe I can walk and walk forever until my skin falls off my body and I collapse into dust. Oh, who am I kidding? That won't happen. I'd be lucky if a nail got chipped. I can't even sleep. I'm really going to hurt them tonight, just because they look like Alain. If I had the chance to hurt them, I would. If I had the chance to do worse to myself, I would. Because then that would count as progression, right? I'm really gonna hurt them tonight just because they look like Alain. I'm really gonna hurt them tonight just because they look like Alain. I'm really gonna hurt them tonight just because they look like Alain. So, definitely a lot of pretty interesting and pretty wacky things within these entries, and I think we'll go into each one and give my thoughts and feelings. This will definitely count as a spoiler rant, so do keep that in mind. So again, as always, If you are somebody that does not want to listen to any spoiler stuff, go to the comment section below, skip ahead. Yeah. Okay, we are in spoiler territory one final time. If you do not want to listen for whatever the reason may be, go to the comment section, timestamp there, skip ahead. Yeah. So, going into entry 1 here. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the pause, had to go do something. But, right, I believe we are in spoiler territory. So, entry 1 here. I found this book while rummaging around some debris underneath Giran City. Found some utensils. No way to discern time. I have no way to tell time right now, so she's gonna make it that date. Dear diary, we failed a mission. So this gets into interesting stuff. Now I'll get into the time thing in a moment because there's another entry that I kind of want to get into that more, but for now, let's go into this. We failed the mission, we fought against Team Zen and lost, but when blank took blank from me. Now, I think that's getting into the archetype that was within her. Now, it could be Madam X, it could be Alain, Clear, Kieran, Vitus, Piano Lady, Truck Guy, I don't know. It could be a lot of different people, Nim. I don't really know. But somebody, I'm going to lean towards Madam X because she's the one that's been wanting that life forever. But regardless, somebody got it from her. And yeah. But when blank took blank from me. Now, if it's not the archetype that was within Melia, I'm not exactly certain on what that could be referring to, but I still feel that most likely it is the archetype. Something unexpected happened. Alain did something, I don't know what, but it wiped half of us out. So, again, I think that's getting into another game, another version, where her friend Alain, the one she knew since, East Giran City, did something unexpected. They've been friends for so long, and unfortunately, they showed their true colors, and they did something that wiped pretty much everything out. Sorry, wiped half of us out. I survived, and then there was a flash of bright light. The world shook and the castle fell on top of us. I thought I died in the collapse, but I woke up to this place. The castle was gone. No, everything was gone, except for one thing, one person, Alain. So, let's say all that went down. Madam X, Clear Kieran, Indrid, who knows what, got their goal with the renegade route, and somehow she survived. And Alain is here too. Not her friend Alain, but the actual Alain, protag Alain here. I said the wrong word, not Alain, sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Protag Alain, not Alain. Alain here. So, yeah, now why that is, I think that has something to do with Variety, predetermined timeline, yada yada yada. It was meant to be this way for some reason. Now, I do have my ideas on what that is, but I'm going to hold off on that kind of territory for a little while. Out of everyone, why them? I can't stand looking at their face, because again, she can't get out of her mind that her dear friend lied and did what they did. And seeing somebody that pretty much looks exactly like them has got to sting a lot, especially traveling with them for an endless amount of time. Because the shares the same one with Alain, the person I hate the most. Alain, stuck in this place with Alain. Is this the price of my sins? So, again, just a lot of guilt and whatnot built up. Entry 21. Even as I note down the time, I feel myself to be unreliable. I can't tell the time unless I dot down every single second. I have no time to complete a task, but not the motivation. Could have been 24 hours, 24 months. It's cold and the place never ends. Alain believes that if we keep going, we'll find a way on out eventually. But everything we've come across suggests otherwise, sorry. As I ponder about how I could have lived my life differently, I was always a shy girl who didn't go to parties and only battle when prompted, and I had changed a bit since Patient Tempest saved me. Now, this is where it kind of gets into her slowly diving into insanity, into that personality known as M2, because entry 1, she's like, all that happened, I'm stuck with Alain, somebody that looks like the person that betrayed me. Now, I'm thinking about what I could have been if things didn't end up to this point. And again, just slowly, falling down the rabbit hole a little bit. I became more stern and tried to be a leader, but that failed miserably. So again, like she's reflecting, like I was once shy, I only battled when people wanted me to. I tried to be a leader next, and that didn't work out clearly because I'm here and now. And if I was a normal girl, she's saying I would have gone to parties and I would have done some stuff that I wasn't meant to do, just so I can at least feel alive, and not be in this predicament. If I had a second chance, I'd live my life the opposite of what I lived, or actually maybe I don't want to do any of those things. We always want what we can't have. Would I even enjoy the things if given the chance? So, again, with the Renegade route, M2 got to a point that she was like, oh, screw this. I'm gonna party. I'm gonna do some pretty wacky stuff, cause some mayhem, party, drink, eat Thin Mints, and go crazy. So she lived her life to the fullest because she knew that she was in a world that was already going to be doomed again, so why not live life? I'm out of this world here, so now that I got another chance for the time being, I'm going to go crazy, I'm going to go stupid, and that she did. Is any of this even worth thinking about? I don't know anymore. Entry 304. I think it's been over a year at this point, maybe more. I won't rant about time again. Alain and I walked down this endlessly long tunnel today. Now, this is an interesting thing that somehow they kind of ended up within the Yonks Ward. If you're unfamiliar, the Yonks Ward is a place within Pokemon Rejuvenation. Pokemon Reborn. Wrong game, sorry. Pokemon Reborn. So, for them to end up there, and then all the way back to the Oceania Pure, that is really interesting. So kind of skip this real quick. When we walked outside, the scenario completely changed. We were at what appeared to be the Oceania Pier, but the water had completely run dry and the ships were grounded. So I want to touch on that a little bit. Well, let me wait on that in a moment. Sometimes we find something interesting, I guess, but most of the time it's just waiting for the world to change again. Those parts are where I feel the most pain. Part 406. Don't have an N. I can flip through all the pages at once and get to the back of the book so easily. But when I start to turn each individual page, it won't end. I've counted, there were over 1,000 pages. At some point I couldn't keep counting. I just accepted it for what it is. Come to think of it, the ink in this pen I found has been working for an extremely long time too. What if time isn't passing at all? What if we've been at a standstill? Everything stops. Are we stuck at the 11th hour forever? Is that why nothing will fade? I tried ending things for myself tonight. Now, before I get into this bit here, going back to the time thing, the pages being endless, and a few other things from the different entries, like the water was gone, and her mentioning time more and more. Go back to the Renegade route with what happened when you potentially played through that or watched somebody play through it. What happened? You eliminated and got rid of Spacia and Tempa, right? M2 is like, you guys, you hurt Melia. I didn't really like that. I'm gonna go after you in my cute little, journal. She's gone to other people, but let's focus on those two for an example. She went after them, got rid of them with Alain, and yeah. I assume in this world that this is a world where they're not here. Death is not here. Water, being like Kyogre, whoever the volunteer was for that role, not here anymore. So, space, again, it's endless now. It can't be controlled. Time, gone. There is no time. It's an endless cycle. Now, there is something that can disrupt the cycle, though. And I go back to Varia. and I'm gonna stop there because that gets into a whole nother thing. So clearly Varaya at the end of V13.5 shown that she can, or well, it might have been Varaya, the system, whatever you want to call it, one or the other, both tomatoes. So yeah, there is a way that it can change, but for the time being, as you can see here, time doesn't exist, space doesn't exist, water doesn't exist, you can't die, and you're not really alive either. You're just there, you know. I mean, I guess to be fair, like, you are alive, but you get what I mean. Like, this really isn't a life to live. But yeah, anyways, I tried ending things for myself tonight. It didn't work. It can't work, at least if I do it to myself. Alana, on the other hand, I wonder if they could pull it off if they tried. They'd never try, though. Maybe they would if I provoked them. If I put them in a situation where it is me or them, would they have the gall to do it? I want to try it. Maybe I can end both of our suffering somehow. And if it doesn't work, well, will we just be in even more pain? I want to see the color red again. And again, just her slowly diving into insanity. So pretty and different. Maybe it's ugly, maybe it's different. I want to see it again. I want to see Alain again. So again, she's starting to go downhill and think about these unfortunate situations. And again, I believe most humans in a situation like this, yeah, you would go insane. No doubt about it. So it's just unfortunate to see this happen, but it's understandable why this is happening, with how unfortunate the circumstances are. With, again, you are going up against Team Zen, Madam X, your friend that you cared for so many years betrayed you, and now you have to live with that for the rest of your days in this endless world here. It's gotta suck. It's gotta be rough. Did I read this one? I think I did. Yes. Sorry. Entry 2211. Alain went out again on their own again. I've given up. All I do is sit and think about things. I wait for them to come back and tell me they found nothing every time. Last night we found the remnants of what appeared to be a train station from Grand Dream City, though I don't remember Grand Dream City even having a rail system. Now, I think the rail system has something to do with like Team Zen's rail system, because again, they were working with Cassandra being the mayor, and they had to do their thing with the Dome project and be able to get Team Zen members in and out very easily and secretive. So I think that's what the rail system is for. If it's not that, then I'm not exactly certain on what she means, because there is a train station within Grand Dream City, like a normal one, the one that we arrived from Westgear and all the way there. So maybe it is like that one there and she just doesn't remember it. But if it's not that, it could be the Team Zen one that I mentioned. So yeah, I don't really know, because I'm pretty sure like they had like a train station go into like Terrajuma, to Grand Dream City, to like different areas, so they can get to different parts of Avium very quickly and simple. So yeah, now that I think about it, I think it's more so the actual like train station, sorry, not the like Team Zen one perhaps, but I don't really know. I'm gonna assume the other one than the Team Zen one potentially, but not super important. This world is so similar yet so different, it's confusing. When Alain comes back, I might kill them. Now, I guess to be fair, since the world isn't exactly like Grand Dream City, it just could look like a train station that isn't that or the other, but just a completely different one, replicating one of them. Or both, who knows. When Alain comes back, I might kill them just for fun. I mean, I'm pretty sure we can't die here, but I've kind of wanted to try it. Now again, remember when Alain said for, you know, what she attempted before, and he didn't want that happening again when he was talking about that, and then the scene where she's lying on the ground with the pipe looking thing. Within the Renegade route, if you have or have not played it, it's fine. There's a scene where Melia kind of just goes crazy and she kind of chases after you, the player, and tries to kill you with that pipe that she found, so yeah. Right now we're both nothing. I could be something. A murderer, I guess, but does murder even exist here? Because again, she's questioning, like, could I even attempt it? Even if I did, then what? I'm just here alone? But that actually does something, right? Rather than nothing. So again, her delving more and more into insanity here. Now, not again this Melia, but the M2 Melia is what I'll call her. Then I'll be down here alone, but what's so bad about that? Maybe I can walk and walk forever until my skin falls off my body and I collapse into dust. Oh, who am I kidding? That won't happen. I'd be lucky if a nail got chipped. I can't even sleep. I'm really going to hurt them tonight. And that's when she, again, does the one thing outside where she's found unconscious with the pipe to the side, so yeah. I think that's pretty much it for my rant there and kind of dissecting that a little bit. Could I have done that better? Yes, but I'm human. I definitely made some mistakes there. And yeah, I'm just going to use that I'm a human excuse. Yeah, I don't know. I could have worded that better, but that's okay. That's okay. I think, though, I'm going to write this down. And we are out of spoiler territory. Nice. Done for now. I had no idea she was in so much pain or that so much time had passed. I didn't know I could talk like this. I am so sorry, Alain. It's okay. I didn't check up on her enough. I was so focused on escaping, but there isn't any escaping here. Where we are is just where we are. No, there is a way out. If you mean how the other you escaped, we don't know if that's really what happened. The me who wrote that book lost hope, but I'm going to give you my word. I won't lose hope this time. In a world like this, that's all we can do, right? Hope for a way on out. What can we even do? This new floor opened for us. I'm making this tower our goal. Let's work together and reach the top. Huh? Whatever is there, I know it's hope. It could take 6 days, or 6 weeks, or even another 6 years, but if we work together, we can climb on out. You think so? Yeah, I do. Let's work together so that we can see the ones we love again. Even if we're able to escape, we just go back in our old problems. Team Zen. Then let's put our heads together and think of a way on out of all of this. Guess we have enough time to be really thorough, huh? I guess we do. Let's work together for a new tomorrow. Let's push that 11 to 12. Hey, they're waking up. They're waking up. Alain and Melia, thank goodness. You guys really made us worry. Guys? Whoa, are you crying? There's no need to cry. Everything's gonna be okay now. You took a bit of a tumble, but you two seem to be doing well now. Alain's mother sent Aaron a file detailing everything addressed in Zeit, everything with Varia, the core, and the old world. Is all of that really true? I think they're still a bit dazed. Well, they just woke up after passing out for hours. We should just give them some space to just get their heads together. True that. My head was spinning when Aaron was explaining everything the first time around. I think I need a bit before I hear all of that again anyways. Right, let's go. Now, let me check the points just in case, because I think some points are about to happen. I think, question mark? No, it doesn't seem to be. Okay. You're not Alain, are you? I figured as much. Now, when she says that again, just to say it for players that may be new or repeat players that get confused, when she's saying that, she's saying like not the Alain from that other world, like the real Alain, like you're the Alain that I knew from East Giron, right? And of course we are verifying like, yeah, it's me. But your expression already says a lot. You saw all of that, didn't you? No, experienced it. What happened to us? The fact that we're here right now, does that mean it all worked? Huh? Please explain. I think I'll go with this one. You mean you really don't know? Okay, tell me exactly what you saw, Alain. Well, this is problematic. In that case, I'll have to guide you through things then. I'll tell you what I saw and experienced and somehow make all of what all that was. We need to get to I cannot read today. We need to get to the obelisk right away, alone. Okay, Alain, once you get into Zeit, there's something you need to do. Interact with the terminal and give me rights to enter Zeit as well. I know that's asking for a lot, and it's a privilege given only to the Interceptor, but if we want this to work, I'll need access as well. I can only ask for you to trust me on this one. So, we're gonna save here, because again, this was a very lengthy episode, and a lot to unpack there. So yeah. Again, thank you so much for watching. Thanks to Jane and all the developers for making this game a reality. It truly is just amazing what they've done with this story. And yeah, love you guys, take care of yourselves out there, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Good morning.